Lauren, you can start now. Unmute. Thank you.
Aha, sorry, it wasn't letting me unmute for a bit. All right, so I'm going to introduce myself. So I'm Miss Lauren. I'm an art teacher that also teaches at a high school. And what we're doing today is we're going to be creating a cave painting. So a cave drawing. We're making the Lion King drawing that was on the cave wall. So if you have a look at my paper here, it's not smooth. It's got a lot of rough textures around it, which is the first step we're going to do. We're going to have that rough texture. So just to triple check again, you've got to have a piece of paper. If you've got white or brown, that's okay. Either one is good. You need a lead pencil. You need an eraser, a sharpener. This will be handy because we're going to do a lot of using the pencil. You are going to need some colors for your lion. So I have maroon, brown, and a red. If you've got orange for the lion's mane, you can do that. And black is very good for when we're adding in the shading. So first things first. Clear your area so that you've got a nice space where you can work. Grab your piece of paper and you're going to scrumple it up. Scrumple up your paper into a ball. It's going to get, yeah, we've got to scrumple it. Scrumple it up. And then what you're going to do, pull it apart and lie it down flat again. So that'll give us the texture so that it looks like it is on the cave wall. One sec. Dennis has a quick question. What was your question, Dennis?
Can you use paint?
If you want to, for sure, but I would say wait until it's over at the end. And if you want to add paint on top of it, add paint on top of it at the end of class. Because it might take a little bit for it to dry. All right, can I get you to put your hand down for me? Thank you. All right, so what we're going to start off with, make sure it's out nice and flat so you can draw on it. You're going to grab your lead pencil and we're going to start with some basic shapes. So if you have a look here, the basic shape of our lion's head is a circle. So we're going to do one big circle and then we're going to do two smaller circles off the side. So what I want you to do, not in the center of your page, but slightly to the left, you're going to do a circle. Now a decent sized circle, not one that's massive like your fist, but a good sized circle that it takes up a section of your page. So I'm just going to do a circle about here. I'll make mine really dark so you can see it, but do not make yours as dark as mine because you'll need to rub it out. So you're going to do one circle. So this is just your basic lower sketch. So don't worry if it's not super neat. It just needs to be a circle. So if you have a look at my page, it's not in the center, it's slightly up a bit. Zara, you had a question?
Yes. Is it okay if you put the main screen on the picture? Because I can't exactly see you doing the drawing.
So not my face, the other one, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's see if I know how to do that, because usually my lovely friend does that for me.
Let me see. I'll do it for you. Don't worry.
Thank you so much. That was a very good question, Zara.
Thank you.
So not my,
wrong.
this one.
Sorry, wrong one.
That's all right. Just looking at myself now. Yeah, there we are. Awesome. All right, so you've got your circle. Then we're going to do two smaller circles off the side of your head. So what I want you to do is do a little ear off the side, like so, and then same on the other side. I'm going to make mine darker so you can see them, but again, don't do them as dark as I've done mine. When I'm drawing my circles, just like you, what I want you to do, we're not holding our pencil so that it's here. Hold your pencil back a little bit and lift your hand up so that when you're drawing your circles, you can just let it do the circle and you can make them go over a couple of times. So you're not drawing a circle and you draw it. You're not drawing a circle like this, like a little tiny little, just one time around. What I want you to do is do it a couple of times, nice and light, until you get the perfect circle shape. So that's one time, and this is a bunch of times until I get my better circle shape. Because you can see that this one looks more like a circle. That looks like a bit of a squished egg. We want to go for the circle. So we hold our pencil back a little bit and we draw our circle. So you've got your 2 ears started off here. Should look a little funny to start off with because it's just a circle with 2 ears. All good, Tegan. What was your question, lovely? While everyone's doing their circles.
I used like this jar and drew it underneath. So do I need it to do it like some more times?
So use the jar for your head because that's the bigger one. But then for the smaller ones, don't use the jar because it's too big. So potentially you could use
super glue.
Yes, awesome, good idea. Use the glue for the 2 ears. That's a very good idea. So the good thing as well when you're doing this, if you find that you've drawn your ears and you look at it and you go, oops, one ear is massive and one ear is tiny, you can just check where you've drawn and fix it up a little bit and then rub out the other section with the pencil. All right. Have we got our ears and our head drawn, or would we like a little second? We're going good? All right, awesome. We are going to move on to the next step. Sorry, I've got the hiccups. So the next step, what I want you to do, you're going to get your eraser, and where the ears attach to the head, we're going to rub out that section. So see where this line is? We're going to rub this line out. We're going to get rid of it because our ear is attached to our head, so there shouldn't be a line there. Like so. See this line? So we're going to rub out the line that has our ear attached to our head. One of my ears is dramatically big. I'm going to have to fix that. And if you look at it and you say, oops, my ear's a little big, just change it a little bit and make it a little smaller. So the good thing about pencil is we can rub it out and draw it again. We've got our ears started off. So we're getting rid of those lines in there so that it's a nice big open space. And if you have any messy lines around the outside, if you have a look at mine, see I've got a bunch of messy lines around here. I'm just going to get my eraser and clean up those messy lines. So then I don't have any scraggly bits going around the outside that I need to come back to later. If I just erase them now, then it's all good. When you're drawing, a good thing to do as well, if you can see when I'm drawing, I move my page so that I can sit better and draw better. Don't worry about leaving it facing upwards and try and contort your body to get into this shape. Turn the page and then draw. Rotate the page and then draw. Because sometimes it just works better when we can see it from a better angle. And our hands naturally want to go one way. We're drawing with our right hand. It's not going to want to completely turn in on itself. That's very difficult to draw like. So we've got our head and we've got our ear holes erased out. The next step we are going to do is we're going to start by doing these little leg shapes here. So this kind of looks like a long W. So we're going to come down, flick up, come down, flick up. And we're going to make a line so that the bottom of the head aligns in a straight line. So from the bottom of your head here, about not halfway in the center, but a little bit just between the ear and your halfway, so about just a little bit further over, you're going to start coming down and do a long sausage-like shape. I'll draw it nice and dark so that you can see what we're doing. A long sausage-like shape, like so. Not from the center of the head, but just off a little bit, coming down, not all the way to the bottom of the page, but leaving a bit of a gap. And it's got a nice curved bottom. It's not pointy, it's nice and curved at the bottom. And this middle line, it doesn't go all the way up, it just goes up about halfway. So we go from here and we go down, do a curve and bring it back up again. Awesome, good job. All right, and then we're going to move on to the next one. So the next leg is the same motion, but instead of starting from the top of the head, the bottom of the head, sorry, we're starting from the middle bit where our legs attach. Instead of following the same angle, so this leg is going this way, our other leg is going to go that way. So we're going to take this leg down, go a little bit over this way, and then take it up to about here. It's going to come in line with this leg. So we'll go off to the side a bit, to the other side. Keep it nice and round. Take it a little lower than your other leg, not too much lower. And you're going to take it back up into a U shape. I'll draw it nice and dark so you can see what I've done. Like so. So it goes, starts here. We take it down a little bit, make it a nice round U shape, and then take it up so that it's almost in line with this here. If I had an imaginary line, that would touch each other. If you have a look at mine, it's a little bit thick on this side, isn't it? So I'm going to rub that out and fix that again, but that's okay. So you start from the point, we're going down, making it a U shape and bringing it all the way back into line with that one there. Good job. I'm just going to fix this line really quickly because I think it's a little bit too thick. The good thing about erasers, they're the best invention ever. Love them. Making a mistake, it's just a little happy accident that we just change up a little bit. Make sure when you have your leg, you see this bit here that has the two legs together? Mine is not pointy, it's also rounded at the top. So we don't want anything like a triangle that's pointy. So it's not like this with the point. It's like this with a rounded edge. See the difference there? We've got a rounded edge and then we've got a point. This one, no, we want the nice rounded edge. Nice rounded leg. Just make sure you've got that good light so you can see what's going on. Drawing in the darkness is very difficult. Ah, that looks so good. Good job, Dennis. Good job, Hitesh. That's looking awesome. Did anyone else want to show their work? Oh, Tegan, I'm loving the legs. They're very good. Yes, Zara, good job. Oh, Erica, yes. Patissa? Sorry, lovely. I've probably butchered your name, but your drawing is amazing. Archer, that's so cool. What are you making, like a duck? That's pretty cool. All right, so next step. The next step we are going to do, we're going to follow along this line here from this leg. We're going to take it down a little bit, and that'll be where we start off our back leg. So we do not take it too far. We just draw a line that is approximately shorter than our leg. It's not a very long line, it's just a little line. And it goes on an angle that follows towards the edge of the page. See how this line following to that corner. Did you have a question, Dennis?
I don't. I need to change devices.
Oh, okay. All right. Try and do that one as quickly as possible if that's all good. You don't have a chapter?
No.
Would you let me in?
I will see. I can let you in. All good, you're in.
Recording in progress.
I'm gonna put you on mute. All right, lovelies. So the next step from this leg here, we are going to do, if you have a look at this guy, his leg goes down to here, and we've got a bit of a backward C. So we're going to do a backward C from the top of our, the middle of our leg up to about halfway our body. So we're going to start here, and we're going to do a little backward C going up this way. I will draw it darker so you can see what I'm saying. A kind of long backward C going up. So you've got your line and that point. Then we're doing a backward C coming up. Yes, very good. Good job, Hitesh. We've got our line to our point, and we're doing a backward C coming up. So that's his thigh, the back of his leg. If you are very smart and ahead of the game, the next step is we've got half of his leg. We're going to have to draw the bottom bit of his leg, aren't we? So it is the exact same technique as we did for the front two legs, but this leg is going to come almost down to the bottom. So instead, it's not going to touch the bottom, but it's almost going to touch the bottom. So it's going to curve and come down and almost touch the bottom, like so. Almost touching the bottom, but not quite. Look how close that is. It's like so close. So you've got your, yes, good job. So this leg instead though, it's not going to have a leg that comes up. We're going to do a tricky thing in a second. Oh, we got a friend puppy. So we've got this leg, it comes down, it curves at the bottom, and then we're going to do something tricky in a moment with the back of the leg. It's going to follow along. So I'm just going to fix this because it made it look a bit ugly. Making it nice and smooth. How are we going for keeping up with the steps? Are we ready for the next move? Yep, no. All right, I'll wait a little bit. I'll wait a second. Awesome, we're getting there. Oh, they're looking so cool. Yes, I'm so excited for all these Lion King moments. I really like the yellow paper you've chosen. I think that's really cool. Patricia. All right, are we ready for the next one? Next one is we are going to take from the bottom where our little leg is. We're going to bring it. I'm not going to draw it. I'm just going to hold it for a second. Going to bring it all the way up this way into a big C, up above his head, and then we're going to turn it into his tail. So this leg here is going to, from the bottom, come up around the back, all the way into a tail at the top. So that one's our big backward C, all the way. And as you can see, I'm turning my page as I'm drawing it out so that I keep the shape. Turning my page as I draw it out. You've got this nice big tail. It's made my leg a little bit chunky, so I might fix that up in a moment. And the only thing you need to do is you just need to start this leg a little closer in. So if you think your leg's a little chunky, we just rub out that front bit of it. Bring this tummy line back a little bit. And then extend that leg down so that it's not as wide. If you like your leg looking nice and fed, that's more than fine. I just am very particular with my drawing. Just going to fix it up a little bit. Give me 2 seconds. Here we are. So we've got our leg going up all the way up to the top, not right at the top of the paper, but just a little bit underneath it. Should bring it to almost near his head. Should almost reach his head. Then we're going to, very similar to the feet, we're going to do that U shape again. That U shape to make that nice tip of the tail. The nice tip of the tail. So it comes all the way from the bottom, all the way up around the side, into a U shape for the tip of the tail. Awesome, they're looking so good. Next step, we're going to start from a different section. Awesome. I want you to go back to the head. So we're going to do a little bit underneath the ear, not in the center, much like we did on this side. See how it's only a little bit on this side. And we're going to start doing this very, very skinny upward line. So instead of it being too much of a curve, it's just a light curve. So that's his back, the top of his back. I'll do it nice and dark so you can see what I'm doing. So this is the top of his back, upward curve. So not at the middle of the head, starting just off a little bit, a curve that comes up, not all the way up to his tail, doesn't quite make it, but it stops about there. We're going so good. Awesome. So from where the head is, just a little bit, and it curves up onto its back. Very good. The concentration is so good. Everyone's working so hard. I'm very proud of you. Yay, they're looking awesome. All right, moving on to the next step. The next logical step will be connecting the tail to the back. So you're just going to follow this line and connect those together. Make it a little bit more of a sharp point from the tail because you don't want it to be rounded out at his backside. You want the top of his back to be a bit of a point. So I'll show you. I've got a bit of a point and then it links up into his tail. So it's a little bit of a point. Can we see that there? See how this is rounded and then this has got a little bit of a point, whereas this is rounded, but that has a bit of a point, so that we can define it a little bit more. And again, I'm just going to have a look at mine. If I have a look at mine, see how this is a really big gap here? I want to make that a little bit thinner. So I'm going to draw this line a little bit thinner on the inside, and then I'll rub out the outside line if you want to make yours a little skinnier on the back. So I'll show you my example. I'll draw both lines and then I'll rub one out. So I think I would prefer it if I did this a little bit and changed up the drawing just a tad. So I'm going through. See how this line here now, I think it makes it look a little bit better. It's not as thick. I'm going to rub out that outside line and I'm going to rub out this inside tail line. Just fixing up the little details. Making it a bit more smooth. Here we are, that looks better. All right, we will need our eraser again. What you're going to do is the line that is touching from the neck to the bottom of the head, we're going to rub this whole line out. I'll show you from where the neck touches at the back to where the leg touches at the front. We're going to rub out that whole neckline. Where his neck touches his body, we don't need that to be touching. So this line that was in here, we rubbed out that whole line in there. Got rid of it, rubbed it out, said bye-bye. Yay, good job, awesome. They're looking so good. We're going so well. Amazing. So we rubbed out where the neck is all the way up into here. Yes, good job. Oh my gosh. They're looking so good. All right, so next step. You guys are good. You guys are nice and quick and you're picking this up so quickly. Very proud of you. The next step we are going to do, we're going to draw his face. So we'll start, think sort of in the center of his head. So if you look at his head's not straightforward like this, is it? Because if I did a line here, that's not half and half, is it? But if I did the line slightly on an angle, that's half and half. So we'll want to make our face so that one eye is on one side and one eye is on the other. So we're going to find the half of our face. Then I want you to find where the middle is. So you've got half of the face. This is about the middle of his face. Just put your finger there for a moment where the middle of his face is. And you're going to do a line and a U underneath it to make a nose. So a line and a U to make a nose. Like a little, it looks like a little smiley face at the center of his face. That's going to be his nose. Looking at mine, you can tell I didn't put it in the center, did I? I'm a little bit off, but that's okay. I can just move it down a little bit, change it up, and make it more in the center. There we are, that's better. More of a centered nose. Don't worry about what's in it because we're going to color this thing in anyway, so you can color that in. It's going to be a solid color. Then you're going to do 2 straight lines coming up from that nose, one from each side. So we'll do one line going straight up this way and the other line straight up the other way. Oops, I didn't do that right. Sorry. Straight up, not on an angle. Silly me. So straight up from his nose to make his nose shape, like so. You got your nose, you've got 2 straight lines to make his nose shape. Ooh, awesome, going so good. The next step, we're going to do the eyes. So the eyes are just triangles. So we're starting at midway between this line and we're just going to do a little triangle to the side and the top of that line. So we're going to make a little triangle like so. So you start midway here, draw a little line up to make a triangle, and then start at the top of this nose to make a triangle. Just little triangles off the sides of his nose. Looks like he's having a little nap. This is all of the drawing done. We're going to move on to some shading now. So what I want you to do, we're going to start with the top of his head, leave a little gap. When you're shading, I want you to use the side of your pencil. So when we draw with the top of our pencil, like so. When we shade, use your pencil on the side and you're shading with the side of your pencil. See how there's a difference between those 2 material practices? So you've got the top, but then shading is with the side. Does a lot more surface area and it's not as pinpoint. So what I want you to do with your side of your pencil, we're going to find the top of the head, move down a little bit, and we're going to shade all the way along here to the ear. It's going to come from the point and from the point. So the side of your pencil, shade just along the top with the side. Just with the side of your pencil, not drawing, shading. And you're going to shade all the way into the inside of those eyes. All the way along, like so. So we've done this line following the head. And then it follows the eyes, shading with the side of our pencil, nice and lightly. Just going to rub out anywhere I've accidentally shaded that was not right. Once we've shaded that section, what I want you to do is find where the ears are, and we're going to shade the ears. So the ears are going to be shaded in a shape that starts at the tip of our ear here, just about halfway through there. Then it's a little kind of bendy, pointy triangle, if that makes sense. So it just bends in a little bit, like a little half triangle. I'll shade it out so that you can see what I'm doing, and then you can copy. Like so, we've got a little half triangle. It's like when you draw bubbles and you draw that little shape. It's got that little bubble on the side. Yes, that looks so good. Good job, Archer. That's fun. Big scary tiger. Same with the other side. I want you to do the same thing for the ear. Take it up a little bit, make it a bit flat. Make sure you're using the side of your pencil to get this side of that ear shaded in. Very good. Once you've done those, what we're doing is we're moving on to the black pencil. So once you've done all of that, get a black pencil. If you don't have a black pencil, get a darker pencil, or maybe just color over it darker a couple of times. So if you have no black pencil, just get a darker pencil, or maybe just keep using your pencil, but color over, instead of one time, color over twice. So when I shade one area, try and shade two areas instead. Hitesh, you had a question?
I've got the black pen here, but it's in a box. Can I quickly get it?
Yeah, of course, grab it. All right. While you're finishing that off, if you want to, just with your black pencil, go over the eye line and the nose. We're going to go over that darker. So follow this line of your nose, make it nice and dark, like so. And we're just drawing over our nose and our eye line. Just making it nice and dark, it stands out. So you're just going over your nose and your eye lines. Not the shading, just the eyes and the nose. And you're making it nice and dark. If you make a mistake, it's all good. We just rub it out and try again. Just over the nose and the eyes to make those really stand out. And they're nice and dark, they're going to really stand out. Just over the nose and the eyes. Look how it already pops out. It's like, oh, there we are. We're just our black pencil going over the eyes, the nose line, and the nose. Good job. Awesome. Ooh. You're not muted. You're still unmuted. Oh, now you are. You just muted yourself. What was your question?
Can I use a black texter?
I would suggest that you don't, because it will make it so textures. Oh, for the eyes and nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use a texter for the eyes and nose, but not when we do the next shading, because the texture is just. All right, please mute yourself. Thank you. All right, so the next thing we are doing, once you've done the eyes and the nose, what I want you to do is we're going to follow that line that we rubbed out of its neck, and we're going to make a shading there. So remember, drawing is with the tip of the pencil, shading is with the side of the pencil. I want you to shade the shape under the neck, kind of like a little neck shape. It doesn't touch either side though, so it doesn't attach. It's just a little line under. Then we're going to make this line attach up to just almost the tip of the backside. So you follow the line underneath, again, not drawing, shading, underneath the back all the way up to the top here, to about there. Then you're going to bring it down again to its leg. Again, with the side of the pencil, we're not drawing, we're just shading on the side of the pencil. So you should end up with a shape like that. So the line starts here, goes up this way, and comes back down this way. How are we going with these lines? Awesome. Yes. All right. So next one we are going to do, start at the bottom of the neck. We're going to do this line and take it down almost to his leg, but not exactly. We're going to stop beforehand. Shading still, because this is the shading area we're going to shade in color. Like so. Then you're going to make it come and follow the thigh. We're not touching the thigh still, just following the thigh up into a point, like so. See, it's we're kind of following the line, but leaving a little gap. Then the next step we're doing, where this line is on its leg, we're going to round it out so it's like a shadow where our leg was. So very similar, we're going to copy the same shape of that leg and round it out to touch into the leg. Keeping the same shape. And then we're going to make the top of the thigh touch the top of that shadow. So it should end up looking kind of like this. So you've got your drawing and then you've got all your shading on the inside ready to be filled in. If you're ahead of me and you've got all of that done, what I want you to do, making sure with the side of your pencil, we're shading in that whole area. Just the area that you've drawn with that black pencil, not your lead pencil. So start at the back and start shading down all the way down the leg. And then you're going to shade all in here. I'll start shading with you. So the side of your pencil, you're going along and you're shading it all in. Make sure you have a flat surface, because otherwise you're going to end up getting all the textures of what you're working on, which is what I ended up doing. So we're shading, shading, shading all of that area. Make sure it's nice and flat area all along the back. So it should end up like this, completely shaded. Very good. And if you want to as well, with your eraser, so it looks a bit more blended, just with the edges, don't rub, but just lightly tap the edges so that they look a little kind of scumbled and smudged. See how it's not a harsh line anymore? See how this is a harsh, very strong line, and this one's a little bit softer. The soft edges make it look a little bit more realistic. You can just lightly just tap it. I say lightly, but it's probably very loud in your headphones. I'm very sorry. We just lightly just tap it so that the edge is not as rough as it was. A little bit smudged. And smudged is a good idea because when they used to do drawings on the cave walls, they didn't use pens or pencils, they used their fingers. So they would smudge it out and it wouldn't be very neat, which is good. So we're trying to get that effect, smudginess. Smudgy, smudgy. Smudgy, smudgy, smudgy. Make sure we're getting all the little smudgy areas. How are we going with our shading of our background? Oh, not our back, our inside. Oh, very good. Good job. Yes. We're up to the next step, it looks like. So the next step, what I want you to do is we're going to go around the whole shape and we're going to go on the outside of its body with our black and we're going to darken the outside area a little bit. So not being too neat, but you're following the edge of your tiger's head and you're just making it a little bit darker so that it smudges it out a little bit. It doesn't need to be super neat because we want the edge to be soft, but we want where the line is to be dark. So it makes it look like we've kind of drawn it on a wall. I'll hold it up nice and close. So you can see how it's blended out a little bit here. We're just lightly drawing on top of that, but really dark drawing on top of the line. You're going to do this the whole way around. This is going to take a little bit of time. You're going to get all these little areas blended out a little bit. So drawing on the edge, blending it out just a little bit. It doesn't have to be neat. I want it to be a little bit rough around the edges. So we're starting with the dark on the edge and then see how I lightly bring it back and I take the pressure off. So I put a lot of pressure, which is pushing down with my hand when I'm drawing the line. But when I'm pulling out this little bit of color on the outside, I take all of my pressure off. So I draw as light as possible. It's like when you're standing really nice and still and you're using all of your body to stamp is what you're doing to do the line, but then you're tiptoeing to do the outside little bits. So we just tiptoe with our fingers, little light tiptoes. It's really dark and then really light, all the way around. Should look very kind of, it looks like a bit of a blur or smudged. It's a smudgy, blurry effect. So a little smudgy, blurry effect. All the way around. So it makes it look like it's kind of coming off the wall. Smudgy, blurry effect. All the way around, all around his head, all the way around his body, his tail, down his back, up his legs. We're doing that smudgy, blurry effect. You might at some point need to sharpen your pencil as well. So smudgy, blurry effect. Keep going. All the way. Following the top of the tail, smudging and blurring out a little bit. Yes, very good, awesome. Smudging and blurring the whole way around. All right, we've only got about 10 minutes left. So let's finish off this smudging and blurring around the outside. Well, I'm going to make mine a little bit faster because I seem to have taken a little bit too long, haven't I? Getting the back of his tail done. Front of his legs. Once you finish his whole body, we're going to grab our orange or your red, whatever you want to use. We're going to make his mane. So it depends on what color you'd like to use, orange or red for his mane. All right, grab your orange or red pencil and we're going to draw his mane now. So Grab your color ready for his mane. Same thing as when we were shading, you're using the side of your pencil. And we're going to start from where his head is, and you're going to do lines coming out. So out, following the whole way of his head. Just little lines coming out. Yes, Hitesh?
Can we use texters?
Yes, you can use Texter for this bit.
Okay.
That'll work quite well. Marissa, if you have a question, you have to do the button, the mute on, not mute, the hand up on the Zoom. Otherwise, I'm not able to press unmute. So we've got our hair. Make sure your hair is going in the direction that it's coming off. So I don't have any hairs going straight into his face. They're all coming out like a sun ray sort of. So all the way across, out like a sun ray. His mane is not neat, so it's okay if it's a little messy. It just needs to come off the sides of his face, all the way around, underneath his head. All the way. And we've got a... We're not doing any side lines, we're just doing lines coming out so it looks like hair. So lines going out. Looking like hair. All the way. The more and more layers you do of this, the better it will look. So the more red lines that you draw coming out from his head on top of each other. So layers is putting things on top of each other. So the more and more you draw on top of each other, the better it will look. So you could draw little ones on top, and big ones, and little ones, and big ones. See how I'm turning the page as well, so that I'm drawing the lines towards myself? Because it's a bit harder to draw them away, but it's easier to draw them towards yourself. So turn the page so that whenever you're drawing your lines, you're drawing them towards yourself. Makes them easier to draw. Make sure you've got no gaps at the bottom of his mane. So where it touches his head, we want to have no gaps. See how it looks more realistic like this than it does with these funny gaps over here? We want to make it so that there's no gaps of color. It should all be red or orange or whatever you've decided to have as your color for your mane. Maybe you've decided your lion has a pink mane. Or a green. Oh, a green mane. Could you imagine? That'd be so scary. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. We've got our mane. He's looking pretty scary. This is the part of the movie where Rafiki draws this on him. And he's like, oh, he's alive. Such a good movie. I feel like everyone should go and watch Lion King now. All right, so there's 5 minutes left. What I want you to do as your last little bit of activity is get either your brown color or your maroon color. It's up to you. And you're going to darken the outside of these cave walls. So we're just going to do a little circle, your circular sort of edge. Soften your edges of your page. Same with this side. We're just going to soften the edges of your page. And you're just going to color in those areas so that it looks like sort of framed on the wall, on his back of the cave wall. So just with the side of your pencil, you're just drawing off the edges. This is an extra step. If you're still going with the mane and you want to focus a bit more onto that hair, keep going with the hair. If you want to add this little background bit, you can add this little background bit. It's just to define where your artwork is and show that it is on the cave wall. Just coloring it in a little bit. There is nothing wrong or right about how much background you decide to color in. It is up to you. If you want to give your lion a little scenery, you can give him a little bit of something to do as well. If you want to add to him, you're always welcome to add to him. There's never any issue with that. If you go back and think, oh, maybe I should make my areas of shading a little bit darker, you can do that as well. Try and make your areas of shading the same color of shading. So we're not going to have lighter and darker areas. We want them to be the same level of darkness. And you should end up with something like this. Oh, Marissa, you have a question. What was your question, Marissa? Well, you've got to press it. You haven't pressed it.
My paper's bigger than your one.
Oh, is your paper massive?
Yeah.
What you might have to do is either cut out the area where your paper's too big. Or, you know what you could do? You have a whole bunch of blank space for activities. Maybe you want to draw another line next to him. Could be some extra activities. Or maybe your line has a bake sale. Who knows? There's only 3 minutes till the end anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to hold up your work so I can have a look at everyone's work. Oh, they look so cool. Zara, that looks awesome. Oh, Abigail, that's so good. Marissa, hold up your work. I want to see your tiger. Oh, sorry, lion. Oh my gosh, Hitesh, that mane is so good. It takes up so much. It's so good. Marissa, that's so cute. Yes, I think you need to add an extra line next to it. Oh, they're looking so good. Patricia, yours is awesome. Look at that mane. It's crazy. It's out of control. It's so good. Rena, that's looking awesome. Very good. Dennis, do you have yours? How did you go? Zara, I love the color of it. Oh, Dennis, that looks so cool. He's like sleeping and having a good time. Abigail, awesome. I like your tail. It comes all the way around. It's very nice. Sorry, I just need a quick drink of water. Oh, Tegan, yours looks so good. Oh, it has raw on it. Yes, I like that. All right, lovelies. Before I cough any more than I need to. Sorry. If you are happy and your line is all done, you are more than ready to go. What I would like you to do just before you sign off, make sure that you own your artwork and write your name down the bottom. Any pictures that you want to take of your work and send it in, we are always happy to have photos of your art and we'd love to display it. So take a photo of your artwork, send it in to Brilliant Kids, and we will put it up for display. Thank you so much for coming to art class tonight. I'll just unmute everyone so we can all say goodbye. And I can let you go.
Bye. Next week, Miss Lauren. Thank you.